Apologize for what?
Cory Booker's called for it.
Cory should apologize. He knows better.
I know that I was raised to speak truth to power, and that I will never apologize for doing that. I know Joe Biden. He's better than this, and this is a moment where he should have spoken to the issue, allowed everybody to learn from it and move on. Those are the kind of things a uniting leader, someone who heals and helps, would do, and this is a disappointment.
In these earliest stages of a crowded primary where breakout moments make the difference between sinking and swimming, Joe Biden may have handed Cory Booker a life raft. We should note that Booker and Biden won't face off in next week's first primary debate. Booker will appear on night 1, Biden on night 2, so we'll be watching closely to see how Booker will use his turns at the microphone to make the most of this moment. The table's back. Elise.
Booker did well in that moment. He showed grace, and I'm not sure that Joe Biden deserved it given the way that he addressed Cory Booker, telling him that he deserved an apology. It was really not a good moment for Joe Biden at all, and I just have very little confidence that Joe Biden, as he speaks more on the campaign trail, that he's going to be able to clean up and not dig himself into more holes.
You know, I think Senator Booker was making a very important point, that Joe Biden, given who he is and the fact that he spent 8 years with the first African-American president, should know better. And that it's not Cory Booker's responsibility or my responsibility or your responsibility to enlighten him. He should know better. And I think Vice President Biden's response revealed some work that needs to be done there, right? But I want to say this really quickly.
Not quickly. Take your time. Take your time.
We have to ask ourselves the question, what are the costs for dealing with people like Eastland? Eastland is the bad guy. We know that. Talmadge, the bad guy. David Duke, the bad guy. Those are the bad guys. They're easy to identify. That's what melodrama, those are the villains. The more difficult thing to identify is our complicity when we work with them. It's time, Nicole, for us to finally banish from our politics those sorts of people. We can't deal with them because, in fact, that's the fertilizer for the soil that produced Trump. And Trump is...
Let me press you right here. Do you think that there is a mindset in the Democratic Party to let things slide, not just with Biden, but say he's not the front runner in 4 weeks? Do you think the desire to beat someone who's a villain, the way Trump is, the way you just described, is going to cloud people's judgment when it comes to these sorts of compromises?
Sure. I think sometimes we get so caught up with Donald Trump that we think our problem is Donald Trump. That the crisis we face as a nation isn't just him. We're at an inflection point, right? That we have, that the detritus that has informed our body politic just came together and made him, right? And so it seems to me that if the Democratic Party, if the leadership doesn't understand that, then they will be complicit, right, in the fall of this fragile experiment in democracy. We have to do... how can I put this? We've had these moments, Nicole, where we've had a chance to be otherwise, and we have historically doubled down on our ugliness at every turn. Eastland is easy. The question is, why have we been complicit with these folks?
We're going to go from high to low. You and me are low.
I can't play on the level.
No, me neither. No, he's our poet and our conscience and our brains. So you and I are going to have a different conversation. Does Biden have a good campaign?
I think they've shown they're not performing at the level that they.
But you can be blunter than this.
They're not performing at the level of a front runner who's like the inevitable nominee, and they're not. I don't think they have. I think you've seen it in both these instances. And the thing that worries me for them right now is both in the context of the Hyde Amendment thing and in this, seeing these blind quotes from people undermining Biden.
Yes, what I wanted to get at.
Is a very troubling sign. It's a sign of a campaign culture that is not operating in the way that it should, and I've been surprised. You've seen it from
Just explain that for our viewers. In the print stories, there are leaks from the Biden campaign.
You saw it first on the Hyde Amendment thing, where you saw a lot, after he changed his mind on the Hyde Amendment, you saw a lot of heroes, unnamed heroes, who were the aides who went and told him he had to change his mind, and they made themselves the heroes in the story, not Joe Biden had a change of heart. He recognized the world had changed. He thought that he was wrong now. None of that. This was not making the candidate. Your job when you're staff is to elevate the candidate. It's all about the candidate. It's making the candidate the hero. It's making the candidate the avatar for values and a message. And all the principles
Taking
and policies.
all of the blame and none of the credit.
Yes,
that's being a campaign staffer.
Yes,
and let me tell you this.
And right now, you got a lot of people around Joe Biden telling that, like, you can tell the press right now without their names attached.
It's just front runner-itis, right? I mean,
No.
That's a good example of another bad campaign.
I worked on a campaign that won, and I worked on a campaign that lost. And there are not a lot of things to determine an outcome. Here's one that I have never found flawed. The campaign that leaks the least always wins.
Yeah. So to your point before, and assimilating what Eddie said, is it a sign of weakness when you apologize? Some people interpret that. It's also a sign of strength when you apologize. And if Biden had said, you know what, this was a bad mistake. I shouldn't have used them as an example. Right. I'm going to learn from it and grow. That's a sign of strength, not weakness.
I'll tell you another mistake, though. The one thing is, if you want to take the position that you're not going to apologize, that strong and wrong is the right way to go in the extra step, and I want to get back to Cory Booker, to say Booker needs to apologize. That was like that was the ham-handed miss. You just, you can't go there because Booker had nothing to apologize for. He didn't say that Biden was a racist. In fact, he'd been very careful in what he said. And I will, to the original topic of the block, I think Cory Booker, right now, if you look at the field of people who are underpriced stocks, people who have not gotten much traction so far, but who have potential to rise in the months ahead. We always say it's a long way. It is a long. There's a lot of field left, a lot of game left to play. Cory Booker, at this moment, he was pitch perfect in making the points he wanted to make without attacking Joe Biden, without seeming like he was capitalizing or being opportunistic. He was speaking his heart and making a point, though, that also connects with a lot of African American voters. I think you got to watch it. You got to watch Cory Booker. I think we'll see where he goes, but he's an underpriced stock right now.
I totally agree, and I think it's not his first moment where he hit the right note. I think after the shooting in Virginia, I think on the question and issue of guns in Newark and his record, and those things have not had enough attention. It may take something like this to propel him.
And that was Eddie's point, is that Eddie was making a moral point and Booker was making a moral point.
Yes, exactly.
Some people beyond the pale that you cannot deal with.
Well, and also that there's this difference in the language. The thing of they didn't call me boy, they called me son. There's a lot of layers to that, and and really Cory Booker did a little bit of not just for Joe Biden, for everyone, a little bit of a good expository. He used a teachable moment, as they say.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.